we've got our final match of the game between Soar and Enemy. All right, let's jump into picks and bans with Adonis and Hinduman.
Thank you, Amanda. And now we're live at the caster section here, and we're ready for a good matchup in the semi-finals. Here's North America up against North America. And the last two teams of North America left, isn't it?
The winner of this matchup is going to be the North American Hope. They're going to have to face off against the reigning world champions, Panthera, who honestly look phenomenal after that set. Very dominating performance, especially that third game.
They do look fantastic. However, these two teams as well, they've been through the mixer, so to speak, but right now they're going against each other. And when we look at the regular season and when these two teams have faced against each other, it's all tied up.
We've got 4 games between them. There have been 2 sets, and both sets were split. And very close games, too. It wasn't like one team dominated the other. It wasn't like one team just, walked over and kind of got defeated. They have been very intense. These two teams have battled it out, and I think they're both deservedly here.
Well, Hurriwind as well, you saw in the interview yesterday after their victory, did say that they may have some spicy things available for them. Well, let's go through these teams anyway. Introducing first, fighting out of the right-hand side on the stage is going to be Soar, and they're here today to lead things off with Baskin in the solo lane, the one true North American player. And then next up after that is Homiefe, the jungler, the young lad who's had a fantastic season so far. Hurriwind will be in the mid lane, and he's had a pretty good set so far today as well, followed by the support in Jigz, and rounding things off with the young Metyankey.
And of course, Enemy, after removing multiple members from their core, they've got 3 rookies in the solo lane. And his first LAN appearance, it's going to be Maruader, jungle, Varizial. Making his return, it is Khaos in the middle lane. And of course, the support captain and big fan of cosplays, PainDeViande. And his hunter is going to be the all-star Artemis player, PandaCat.
I do like that when we said cosplay, General Pain looked at the screen.
He knew.
Oh, cosplay? Where? What's going on
He
now?
knew.
Now, PandaCat is the person I want to talk to about this roster. He's insane right now.
Phenomenal.
He's had a fantastic season. We were going through the stats beforehand. They're absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so looking at PandaCat, most hunters will focus on one style of play, either this kind of split pushing, focus on objective damage, make sure to control that, or they rotate and they team fight. PandaCat is the best of both worlds. Not only has he taken the most towers by a large margin, also has the most structure damage coming out of both regions, as well as the second highest player damage across all teams. Number 1, though, his mid laner, Khaos.
His mid laner, Khaos, and Enemy. The whole team looked pretty good yesterday up against Latin America. When I say pretty good, though, they did fall behind a couple of kills, but that didn't mean they were behind a lot in terms of golden experience, and we're still farming very, very well.
I think Pain said it best. It was kind of just a get over your nerves match. Obviously, Latin America coming out hasn't been able to compete with the North American and European regions too much. However, they did have a great performance, like you mentioned, but it was more about getting Varizial adjusted, I would say. So same with Maruader. I think Maruader was pretty consistent, but Varizial, game 1 did not look good. Heading into game 2, though, much more comfortable.
Baskin, you can see on the big screen there in the middle.
He's the man.
He's had a fantastic season. You can actually see what Hurriwind said in the interview, too. They looked over towards, the solo lane and went, yes. What's this? Baskin's 2 levels up and proxy farming already? What's there to worry about at the moment? We're in a good position. And I think he's just a nerves breaker for this Soar team.
I mean, Baskin played for Cloud9. He played for the most storied competitive organization, I would say, in Smite. At least looking at North America, he was put onto this team that won the first season of Worlds, as well as had been dominant throughout 2 years. Even had a decent showing. Obviously, they couldn't make land here with their new organization, but I mean, he was around the best players that NA had to offer, and he kind of just absorbed all that, and he's been able to teach this new Soar lineup, because there were, just like Varizial, some worrisome, rumors about Homiefe, how if he came to land, he probably wouldn't be able to perform.
And Varizial had issues. Homiefe may have had some issues too, and those 2 junglers here, well, they should be a little bit more comfortable now. They're both warmed up, had to face off against opposition already, but now they're against each other again. It's just NA versus NA. They do this week in, week out.
And the North American Hope, right? One of these teams going to come out on top. It is a best of 5. And for Soar, I'm looking at Baskin. We kind of hinted at it, but he's the one that this team really plays off of. He is the best solo laner in North America, I would say, uncontested. There's no one who's really up for debate. I think there's some close contenders there, but he really just makes sure to dominate his matchups. We saw, I believe it was Ravana and Osiris yesterday. I mean, he beat Xaylia, the world-renowned Xaylia.
The world-renowned Xaylia, indeed, but then there's also Maruader across the way that he's going to be up against today. I mean, Marauder's had a fantastic hectic season. And when you go back to Marauder's career...
He did not just dab.
When Marauder's career... Did he dab?
He dabbed.
Did he really dab?
That's a Soar thing, too. They all do it.
Oh, no, that's not worrying. Picks and bans, though, are underway. Enemy will be your first pick, first ban. Soar, well, they're going to have the counter ban option and the first pick after that, and the final pick. Will you see them hold that final pick for Baskin, do you expect?
A lot of times you saw that, much so in the earlier part of the split, but later on, it kind of transitioned into getting him a very lane-dominant god, like the Robin, like the Osiris. He's played Bellona as well. That's something that Baskin can always go to. But the biggest thing is, like, if Soar don't feel comfortable with some of their other players or knowing what the matchups are, they can always just safely pick for Baskin because they are not worried about him losing, no matter what the matchup is.
Well, bans so far, pretty expected for Susano. And across the way, Soar have taken away Raijin and now Nemesis as well. A little bit worried about that jungle pickup.
This is just pretty meta. Obviously, Thor, Susano, just two very strong junglers. Susano people haven't really, oh wow. First pick Artemis. I was wondering if Soar were gonna look to ban the Artemis. We saw how good PandaCat has been on it, not only during the regular split, but also at this tournament against Latin America.
So, PandaCat yesterday on the ride back to the hotel was sat next to me and he was like, listen, when are you going to start calling Artemis Artecat or Panda Art or Partemis? And I'm like, none of these work, okay? We'll eventually find one that sounds good if you keep winning. And so far, he is.
Sobek Awilix also highlighted for Soar right now. Sobek locked in. That's going to be over to Jigz here. Homiefe also locks in the Awilix. So we've seen this composition in North America quite often. It's not so much played in Europe, but we saw Eager run that same thing. Honestly, Panthera gave, I would say, Eager almost their dream composition, and it involved the Sobek Awilix, but they were able to counter it pretty effectively.
Well, I think the big thing for enemy now is make sure that Soar don't get their most comfortable mid laner that will fit with this composition so well. They don't want to see a Zeus there.
I think it'll be Zeus.
That's the biggest one you don't want to see in the mid lane. There is others that can fill that void, though.
Scylla, obviously safe. That's the core that Eager always runs here. Raijin, that other one, but Soar have actually banded out themselves, a little bit worried about enemy picking it up here. Back over to enemy, though. Thor banned out. They actually banned it out themselves. Guan Yu has always been a staple for them. They will run it over in the solo lane occasionally, but it's really all about the support. That's going to go to PainDeViande, and it's just a god that he can control the team fight with because he can decide if he wants to reset back up. It gives you so many options because you not only have the shred on the Tallow Assault, but more importantly, the heal.
So very flex there with the Guan Yu, but more than likely into the support role it'll go. Counterman phase is going to come through now with Soar. They did get the Scylla, which we had kind of expected there, especially up against the Janus too, although I don't mind Zeus too much against the Janus as well. Both of these are very good against Janus.
I think Scylla is a little bit safer there, and especially against a Guan Yu, you want that Sentinel online. You want to have some mobility. Soar going to take out Kabrak, and that is a shot at the solo laner Maruader. You can see him on screen there. Ran that twice yesterday against KLG. We've seen some other solo laners experiment with it as well. The recent buffs to him in the 3.9 patch have made his early game power spikes massive. Late game still the same thing, but that level 2 on Refraction Shield is just hitting that much harder.
And NA solo laners, for the most part, they like lane dominant gods. You're looking for a Cyrus, you're looking for Ravana.
Early game.
It's all about the early game and control the lane.
And I would say Soar is very similar to Eager. Funny enough, without them even picking this composition that was a staple for Eager at the beginning of the split and even this tournament, they like that early aggression. They give Baskin that lead. They make sure he gets a level or two ahead. They will look to gank his lane as well to make sure they can force the buffs and force the invades.
Well, not too many solo lane bans coming out here. Only the Kabrak and Arachne was focused there onto Varizial, and 2 hunters from enemy in respect of Metyankey.
Bet's played a variety of gods, not so much Chiron. I believe he's only played 1 god on it so far this year here, but feels very confident this time. A pretty lane-dominant god. He kind of fell off once the throwing dagger was kind of thrown into the meta with its buffs, where it can now really control and clear waves. That's why we started seeing gods like Cupid back as well, and that kind of lane dominance with one ability fell off, but he's still really strong.
Talking about lane dominance, there's the Raven pickup across the way for Marauder, and finally Bastet locked in for Varizial. That he's done this before though. He has pulled out the Bastet in regular season.
Was it only? It was only a couple times. Bastet, very interesting, very not too much controlling, but really has this level 5 power spike where cats are dropped and mages or any god that don't have an escape can not only get body blocked, but they're slowed, chased down. A lot of kill potential coming out of the Bastet.
And that bleed, the cats will actually chase after the target still. So even if Scylla does Sentinel away, if it's not over a wall, those kitty cats will keep on running after it down the lane. And finally, the little baby that turned into the big baby going over to Baskin in Vamana.
Vamana, always safe. You're going to be seeing a lot of CDR. It's a god that may not dominate the lane early on, but once he gets his Armored Umbrella leveled up, it's just a one-shot, clear the wave, and just comes up big in team fights, honestly.
I think it's very wise against the Bastet as well. Just because the bleed damage will allow him to stay in the big baby form and continue regenning continuously and not end up, you know, wasting it.
I mean, it's also the fact that big baby, you get a little bit of movement speed as well, and you're not going to be getting hit by those slows. You're completely CC immune, so there's no hope for, you know, Guan you coming and stunning you, Artemis Boar hitting you, so it's a pretty safe lane, I would say, against a composition that enemy seems to have drafted to focus out that solo lane.
Does bring another knock up to the table as well, that Vamana as well, being able to charge in there and allow Awilix to potentially use her ultimate and pull targets towards her, which will allow Scylla to find that damage.
And we didn't really talk about that with Chiron, but he has the same vein, you know, the charge, it can knock back. Now, it's a pretty short knock-up, but I mean, at this level of play, you expect these mechanics to be on point where in that half a second, you'll see Homiefe pull someone.
Well, there's the two teams on your screen. Only one will advance to face off against Panthera. Enemy coming to this as the #1 seed, remember, out of NA after the regular season. And Soar, well, they were #2, #1 for most of it, but at the end, they just got snipped out by Eager, and now they face themselves off against Enemy.
Soar, Enemy, game 1, Enemy. A team many thought were going to end up at the bottom of the split there, the bottom of the standings at the end of the split, myself included. I think you were there too. Agreed. I didn't think they had a lot of hope. And it's not so much, you know, the same team. They brought in 2 new rookies. PandaCat as well, I would consider rookie. Only had 1 split of experience the year before where he didn't win a single game.
But he did stand with PainDeViande in the Challenger Cup as well. So those two have got great synergy. And you may be able to see it, although against Latam, they had a bit of a tumble in the duo lane at the beginning of the game. I don't expect to see them not be as expectant this game.
I wouldn't say they were trolling, but I think they were playing overly aggressive. They felt very confident heading into that matchup. They didn't think that the Latin America region deserved the respect they did, and they got punished for it.
So at the beginning of this game, though, look at Enemy here. The mid laner and jungler, Varizial and Khaos. No power potions for either of them. It looks like they're going to play this relatively safe early.
And I think this is because they know they're going to lose the 3v3 core. Bastet doesn't have a lot of pressure early on. Actually, incredibly slow wave clear, or jungle clear, excuse me. And he's going to be matched up against an Awilix, you know, a Sobek, and then the Scylla. That is a core that wants to fight.
And you mentioned that the early game's kind of weak out of Bastet, and look at where we can see Soar starting here. Right-hand mid-harpies immediately. They've got wall coverage down here as well.
It's the blue invade.
They may look for this blue invade.
I feel like it's likely here. Bastet, Robin, they should be able to clear okay, but no, it's going to be a safe play from Soar, so they don't want to get too overly aggressive. They have the 3v3 they want to take, no need in risking it.
But the speed buff is still available there for Homiefe to go back and take eventually as well. Do we expect him to see go straight to that, or will he go to lane first of all?
It'll probably be lane. They'll probably split up here a little bit. And Homiefe, yeah, he's going to be going and actually holding off on doing his speed buff. And this is something that Enemy are going to be able to pick up on. They'll notice that Homiefe doesn't have it around his waist here, and we'll see if they can adjust.
We're tuning into the dual lane there, and Pain and PandaCat continuing to farm up early on. Up against Metyankey and Jigz, and both teams have to be very respectful. A lot of sustain coming out from the enemy lineup, but a lot of kill potential, especially under a tower against that Jigz is Sobek.
They did adjust. Look at this. The speed buff being stolen away by Varizial right now, and Khaos is just there around the corner. He's only trying to get vision. He's not in his lane playing safe because he knows that Homiefe will notice something going on. Speed buff stolen away by Enemy.
Really good play from Varizial there coming out, especially after the day he had yesterday, where game 1, he got off to a rocky start, I should say. But right now, he's been able to rotate over, looking to pressure Baskin here now, who recognizes it, and Varizial not going to lose any farm here either.
He is a little bit behind in experience. He is going to share this wave because he needs to catch up. Homiefe was already level 3 there. Also stolen away back right Harpies. You can see the setup here on the right-hand side as Khaos notices the gank happening.
But Baskin under pressure again by Varizial, but just going to rotate away. The bleed will tick down a little bit, but he's got plenty of potions here, and Varizial hanging around here quite a long time at the moment.
Probably a little bit too much. The back left Harpies are going to get stolen away once again by Soar, so they did lose the speed buff, but honestly, they're going to be slightly ahead in XP because of this. And you can see right on your screen, about 200 gold, I'd assume about the same amount of experience.
Varizial as well. I mentioned these two junglers, Homiefe and Varizial. Very important for both of these to have good games, and they are so far. Varizial, recognizing that he's probably being invaded, is now invading himself on the backside here. He's getting a lot of solo experience, which isn't too bad, because that means Khaos is also getting solo experience in mid if he survives.
Yeah, so Khaos is going to be catched up, but the problem is that Maruader actually going to get a little bit behind as well. Baskin has already hit level 5, has elected not level up his ultimate, not too worried about either getting ganked or the fearful of any kill potential he could have on Maruader. So just going to be focusing on the lane so far here.
And Hurriwind will go to the right, and Harpies at the backside realize they are down as Homiefe clean up the left, and Homie off this wave should be hitting level 5 as well, as should Khaos. I'm not sure about Varizial right now. It should be pretty close between the two at the moment. But look at this engagement from Homiefe. Very aggressive, very early on.
Oh, just hit level 5 as well, so Varizial needs to be a little bit careful. He can't jump, otherwise his purification are going to be forced out, so that is something, yeah.
Thinking about it, during picks and bans, obviously picking the Bastet into an Awilix is a very interesting one, considering the fact you can get pulled immediately. I'm expecting we're probably going to see him have to go for Sanctuary and Purification.
He's going to have to play relatively safe, and here comes Homie and
there's
pull
the
back
pull,
in.
Purification. Feather Step connects though, but the pull is very good coming out from Khaos to force the Purification and response. So it's 2 ults down. There's another one coming out as well. Khaos trying to point blank to the face there, Hurriwind, but Hurriwind very, very aware of it.
That wasn't going to be kill potential from Khaos, but what he was trying to do was just force Hurriwind out. He didn't want him to stay at a healthy amount of life, and you could see because the speed buff was spawning. If Scylla's poked out there, maybe enemy can contest, but because it just completely whiffed and a really good juke by Hurriwind, speed buff stolen away, Soar equalized.
And you can also see Maruader there. Wasn't able to do too much in the early game because he had Varizial over here, so can experience too. So that lane dominance that he had earlier on, well, Baskin's just showing it back to him.
This game's kind of going how I expected right now. Enemy, like you noted, didn't buy any power potions. They just wanted to farm up to late game. Maruader, a little bit of trouble. Probably going to have to ult away.
Trouble. And there's Homiefe to confirm the kill. This is first blood, ladies and gentlemen. It will go over to Homiefe, and so just beautiful play from Baskin, knowing his jungler was coming.
And look at this right-hand side. It's a massive rotation. 4 members of Soar going to be able to steal away the blue buff as well. Enemy already behind about 1,100 gold. Varizial, though, trying to make something happen here on the rotation, and he's like, never mind, I'm backing out.
Has to pounce away, but he does come back when he realizes the rotation has swayed his way left, and Harpies have spawned. Khaos going to go through the portal and get those with Varizial there. However, Soar do have their whole jungle to go and clear out, because speed buff not invaded by enemy.
No Gold Fury, just, PainDeViande going aggressive here, gonna look for the Chiron. He is gonna dash away, still gets stunned out, but he has the ultimate, trying to return it onto Pain. One more hit though, PandaCat. He finds the first kill for enemy.
Little bit overextended from Metyankey there. Did have Purification available, but there wasn't a whole lot he could really do with that anyway. The charge was already down, and he stumbles down. 1 for 1 is the scoreline now. On the right side, though, Maruader pulled into danger, and with Baskin swinging around, the Feather Step is good. Overhead kick to avoid some damage, but the ultimate from Khaos off point to give him an escape route, and Baskin gets a kill again.
So we're looking incredible so far at the beginning of this game, just abusing their 3v3 powerhouse. Varizial obviously did a really good job of adjusting and stealing away the speed. I liked what Soar did, though. A lot of times you'll see members go back and try and check it, but the call was made by Baskin once he saw the Bastet in the lane. Instead, okay, guaranteed 2 back Harpy steals. After that, the second their speed buff spawns, now we have an experience in gold lead. Let's force a fight in the middle lane. They got it, or they didn't get a kill, but they forced players back, stole the speed, then ganked the right-hand side on Maruader.
Well, Soar did go to the left-hand side of the jungle there to see if the red buff was up. PandaCat actually has that on the side of enemy here. And they didn't go for the Gold Fury because obviously Metyankey couldn't really do much with that full wave here, but Homiefe now rotating over here too, and I think PandaCat has sniffed that out a little bit, and he's playing it relatively safe.
About 5.5 minutes in here so far. Obviously, PandaCat doesn't want to get baited too much, and now Maruader here. A little bit of trouble.
Lead at the moment up against Maruader. He does hit level 8 off this wave, though, but Baskin in a fantastic position early on. There's not a whole lot Maruader can do against this now.
At this point, no. The most worrying part was that Varizial actually split 2 waves, possibly even 3, which means Maruader had that level down. Then he got ganked. This is exactly how Soar win most of their sets. They just get Baskin ahead, and he's such a dominant player in North America that he knows how to carry the game. He'll start rotating here in a couple levels, probably once a Gold Fury started up by Soar, and he will just have this massive just gold and XP lead that players can't fight into.
Jigz getting a bit aggressive here against Varizial, trying to look at the speed buff, but you did see Baskin is backing at the moment. Cats are dropped, but in is pulled Maruader there as the cavalry charge from Pain is on point. I'm a Monster is available for Hurriwind, but at the moment Soar on the run, and Varizial will get a kill for them and be able to defend this speed buff.
Hurriwind tried to line stuff up, and now the portal comes out right-hand side. Baskin's made the rotation, looking for Khaos. Khaos has no idea what's going on, gets hit by the armored umbrella, chased down, knocked up.
Baskin.
One more, but the portal is not good.
3v1 picks up the killers are on the run.
Maybe
looking for PainDeViande as well. Is he going to go under the tower? No.
Varizial.
He plays it safe and uses his brain.
That was Varizial's body blocks there, saving PainDeViande, just completely stepping in front of the big baby. Right behind him was Guan, and Baskin at that point knew he couldn't catch up with his current movement speed. He has boots 3, but still couldn't close the distance.
So looks so good right now. They look to invade the speed. Didn't find it, but they do find the blue because of it. Baskin picks up kills, and while that's going on, Homiefe gets some free form on the solo side there, just to continue earning more and more experience.
Level 10 has a level lead on Varizial as well, who's gonna jump away here. No mana on the Bastet. Has boots 3, still a kill, able to return. Oh, okay, just a little bit of poke. Able to return a kill on Hurriwind there. Hurriwind actually goes into I'm a Monster, and instead of just either using it to escape or immediately knocking someone down, actually tries too hard to set up the kill. Meanwhile, just getting completely battered on by the cats, and Varizial finds him.
Red buff being started here by PainDeViande, but there is 3 members of Soar in this left-hand jungle. And with Varizial looking to back here, then it is a power play opportunity for Soar to invade.
The red buff going to be started. PainDeViande doesn't want to give it up for free, and you can see the rotation coming out from the rest of his team as well. But Jigz, it looks like he's going to take a trip back here.
Looking for the pluck, not going to find it though, because Purification was forced by Khaos there by the looks of it. As the fight in the jungle is going on, lurking in the waters, popped by Jigz just defensively to get him away from the danger and the possibility of the Caledonian Bone. Well, PandaCat just ate a full chunk of damage from Hurriwind, but Pain's going in.
And he's looking to find Hurriwind there. There's the ult from Khaos as well. I'm a Monster, popped over the walls. Varizial cats are out here, and he's going to hit the cats, but Khaos with the snipe.
Absolutely beautiful play coming out from enemy there on the counter-attack that Soar were engaging on. Although that our Soar, and now they can look for a power play here, enemy. Mid-wave pushing, they're heading towards the Gold Fury, and only Metyankey is here, but they have to be careful of those snipes from that Chiron.
Look at this, right-hand side too, aggression, but Metyankey, the only one around. Homeife's made the rotation as well. Enemy, get the Gold Fury, one of the best in the game. During the regular split, I believe they had, it was close to 70 Gold Furies, 10 more than the next highest team. They're so good at objective control, and that's how they get ahead and win most games.
I love what Maruader did there as well. He pressured the speed buff. He wasn't going to be able to get it on his own with Baskin being there.
He was just keeping Baskin
But keeping Baskin busy was the big point, so they could get that Gold Fury and bring themselves back into this game. If we go to the graphs, we should be even overall here between the two. And look at that, it is
That was a pretty good call. That was like, I saw like 34 gold, like 10 experience. They're now 77. And this is just a really good job by enemy. That's what they do. They got behind a little bit early, but their positioning so far in the first 9 minutes has been unmatched. You see them always close to towers, always rotating to take care of one another. If someone on the right-hand side, like Marauder's getting pressured, Varizial and Khaos are always there. If we see a little bit of aggression on the left-hand side, or maybe aggression on a Khaos, the core will just group together. Enemy is one of the best team fighting units. They have some of the best rotations in the game.
Baskin gonna poke into the jungle here, looking for the speed buff with Jigz in tow now. Gonna force the pounce out of Varizial early, which means he may have to give up the speed buff. Marauder not here on the rotation. Khaos having to farm up mid lane. So a free speed buff for Soar once more.
I like what enemy do though. They always do this. If they feel like they can't take a fight, and it's very similar to what we saw from Panthera versus Eager game 1, where Eager got ahead. Panthera just let them steal things.
Marauder's in trouble, gonna get knocked up and then pulled in. Has to ult away, but there's Suku gonna jump under the tower, looking for the extra damage. Feather Step was immune though by the bicycle kick, and Baskin still going in, has his ultimate available. Just gonna run him down. There's Khaos though, and reinforcements from enemy are here, and Baskin could be in trouble, still looking for the kill of Marauder.
Here's I'm a Monster though, looking to set it up. Is gonna whiff on PainDeViande, can't find it. Khaos still fighting under the tower, and now Jigz is tanking it up, goes to the look into the water, but Big Baby's got a double kill, and he's looking for the third. Guan Yu is gonna be able to heal up, but a triple kill coming up from Baskin.
The #1 NA solo laner confirmed, 3 kills in that engagement, and now they can look for the tier 1 tower. Left-hand side, however, bit of an opportunity here. Metyankey forced back to base. Varizial recognizing this, and don't forget what Varizial's done with this before. He will backdoor for days on this Bastet.
And no cats available right now, so the tier 2 probably not going to get pressured, and you can see Baskin, no mana, has to take a trip back to the base, left-hand side. It's just going to be 1-for-1 in towers overall. Kills pretty even as well. TP coming in from Baskin, very deep to steal away this blue.
Baskin 5-0-1. Breastplate of Valor Online, Winged Blade as well for this solo lane. Level 15 in 11 minutes.
Actually, I really like this Winged Blade pickup. You look over at the enemy squad, and every single one of those gods has the slow. And now rotation coming in, trying to continuously abuse Maruader, who's 3 levels down, just under a tier 2. And no care. This is 11 minutes.
He's also using the minion wave as well, just to poke him even more every single time he tries to trade back with him.
Look at that. Player damage.
Insane.
9K, tripling the next highest.
Well, it was a triple kill he just picked up in that engagement too in Big Baby form, so of course he's going to be up there. I do like that Marauder's still trying to poke him out a little bit, but this little baby right now, he's going to be unstoppable as this game goes on.
I know you can't see the T-screen, I know you can't see the player damage if you're in this game, but I think if enemy knew that Basket had more than all 5 of them combined, they'd be like, come on,
Left
man.
side, there is engagement going and put onto PainDeViande. Cavalry charges up, he's down, but the snipes from Yankee are on point. He does find one, but there's PandaCat blinking in with a Caledonian Bow. He gets gets hit by the Emma Monster, and he does go down, but Khaos with a double kill of a single unstable Vortex. Metyankey still going in, as now around the back comes Maruader.
And now Basket's made the rotation as well, trying to chase him down. Does hit the slow on the Maruader. Khaos going to teleport out, and I don't think Hurriwind and Baskin are going to be able to find a return kill, but I mean, that fight was 100% in Soar's favor, but then the blink boar in the middle of 4 people. PandaCat, I don't think I've ever seen someone do something that reckless, not only get away with it, but find his team a lead in the team fight.
Well, now there's pressure for enemy now to look at mid lane, but that wave was cleared nicely from Hurriwind and Baskin. They're going to have to backdoor if they want to do it. And Varizial, well, he may be known for that on the Bastet, but now he's going to walk in the jungle and find the little baby still hanging in. Baskin.
Oh, he's going to return it.
He went pounced under the tower. Hurriwind so low, the blink will get him. Varizial realizing he had an opportunity to at least trade, and he finds it.
He jumped back into the tower. He wasn't going to be able to make it out, so all he could do was try and find a return kill, somehow managed to trade out. That's the power of Bastet. I mean, just the bleed damage is so much, almost 100% scaling on all of her abilities there. Also, the open wounds, where if she hits you with one, the next ability doing 25% more damage coming into play there.
Oh, talking about the actual hunters here as well, I want to mention. Both going solely to here. Now, this is something that we saw in the beginning of the tournament here, Adonis coming out, and we weren't sure because obviously it was against some opposition that maybe wanted to hold strategies, but in that last set we saw Panthera use it again, and now both hunters this game have gone for it.
This is the Dream Eater, right? And it's not just the pun because we're at DreamHack, right? It is, because you dive onto the hunter and you're about to kill them, and then your dreams are eaten away of the glory of taking out them and you heal up. I know, I'm bad at puns.
That was a dry bear moment.
That was a dry bear or an F-dot, right? I can't sell it as well as them. But no, honestly, you get below 25% life, you have the 20 stacks, you get that massive 30% HP gain, and it really shuts you down and kind of surprises you.
Gold Fury started by Soar. Now nobody really here to notice it, but through space and time fight, actually, my mistake. Enemy knew what was going on, but so did Soar. They get an ultimate for free, rotate back mid, continue farming up.
I mean, this set is so close. Enemy playing their team game like always. We see them just out-rotating people. On the other hand side, Baskin, level 18, 4 levels above Maruader, completely carrying the squad, 5-0-2. Gold Fury started up. Khaos in trouble.
Khaos is already dead. The Sanctuary is down. He gets put back in by Jigz, but he gets through the portal to safety in time. The crits come out from PandaCat, going to turn it on to Jigz as Maruader dives in and picks him up. Jigz lurking to the walls with the kitty still on him, and good peel from Metyankey coming out.
Marauder's not giving it up. Marauder's not giving it up. PandaCat either, but it looks like Soar will be able to successfully back up, but Gold Fury started once again.
What's Baskin doing though? That's a tier 2 tower being taken, and still 2 members of Soar are defending this Gold Fury, forcing the reset one more time. It is getting lower. Hurriwind's looking for the steal with a crush.
Oh, nice pull.
Pulled out from PandaCat is the Gold Fury. Make sure they rotate it around an enemy. Get the Gold Fury in trade of a tier 2 tower in the right-hand side.
Well played. And why does Baskin have teleport up? He didn't come to the fight. We mentioned it. Soar, they're playing through Baskin.
He just came on the backside looking for picks, and PainDeViande is very alone here with Maruader being looked at, and Baskin could actually close the gap on him if he realized it. He's been noticed it now, and Pain doesn't know where to go. He's going to dash away. The curse comes out as well. Varizial and Khaos helping him out of the portal, back to safety towards mid lane, but now Jigz is going to catch Maruader out. Good overhead kick to avoid the Sentinel.
Baskin making a rotation. I'm a monster, but the root was good, and Baskin can't close the distance. This is a little bit of a misplay from Soar. It honestly seems like Baskin's not playing with the team right now. He's doing his own things. He could have TP'd to that fight. He's level 19. He's the one that Soar needs to be playing through. Even there on the left-hand side, PainDeViande was as good as dead. Baskin was stealing away boars instead of helping out a squad.
Really, really aggressive. We talk a lot about land meta. Whenever we come to lands, there's always a meta that develops. Well, one thing I noticed that's developed is the bloodbath meta.
Because right now, that's 19, is this like the Dream Eater meta? 19
kills, right, in less than 16 minutes, I want to say on the board. We saw it yesterday, there was a lot of kills. Even in the games of Eager versus Panthera earlier, a lot of kills. Talking about kills, it looks like we're going to see Khaos get deleted off the map. PainDeViande now surrounded, doesn't have cavalry charge available just yet. Has to run to his reinforcements, but put back in by Jigz into the crush. Cavalry charge up in time, but he still gets run down by Jigz for the kill. Cat's by Varizial in the back, dropped down, but now Jigz is in trouble.
Marauder in the front line trying to find Jigz. He was rooted away. Sprint is popped. Defensive from Soar. They will be able to back out successfully there, but enemy almost able to return some kills. Really good job by Soar.
Really good job by Soar. They get the tower, they get a couple of kills and leave straight away. Go back to the jungle and continue farming up. We go to the graphs, this lead is starting to develop, even though it was enemy that got the Gold Fury.
And the reason is Soar, honestly, like their entire lead, or I would say the biggest part of this is the fact that it's all on Baskin. He's level 19. Even above his own team, he has a 4-level lead, and he hasn't really been able to rotate and make impacts in team fights. When it was the smaller engagements, he was the star. But in the 5v5, 185s. The rest of his team can't keep up at the moment. There's just not enough damage among them.
You mentioned both these teams. One of them is going to be the final hope for NA this tournament. Well, which member of Enemy is going to be the final hope to stop Baskin, who's level 19 right now? I mean, I'm looking down the list, and maybe Khaos with magical damage, or is it going to be PandaCat? They're the only two I can really see.
I mean, the biggest thing right now is that Enemy's in a pretty good spot with Basket. He's level 20, so he's not getting any stronger in that regard. He's almost full build as well here, and it looks like they're going to try and 2v1 him. I don't know if this is the best option for them, and I think Varizial
left-hand
that
side,
as well.
we do get an engage on Metyankey, though. Metyankey's been baited into an awkward situation. Pain was waiting in the wings, and now he's going to get a good heal off and try and return some damage to PandaCat. But with Khaos with that ultimate too, he's just going to confirm that there's no escape route for him required, and PandaCat gets the kill as Khaos had to fall back in mid. Did a good job there. Good pick up by Enemy.
Basket on the right-hand side, still beating on two members there, but I'm a little bit confused on what Soar was doing there. They were kind of aggressing on 3 parts of the map, but not really looking to make any play. Enemy seemed to have a number advantage in every spot outside of the middle lane, but it's Khaos, right? It's a Janus. You're not going to be able to shut him down like that. He does have 3 deaths, but he's done so much for his team. We've seen the portal save 3 or 4 members by now, thresholds as well.
So was looking for the red buff there in the jungle on the left-hand side, but obviously just taken down and given over to PandaCat yet again. They really like giving this Hunter that damage, but now Baskin's going to find him and got some poke down onto him, force him back once more. There's 3 members of Soar, and now it's 4 members, I should say, grouped on the left-hand side.
And with Basket, and so this is what Soar needs to do. Basket's not really getting much stronger. It's time to utilize him in team fights. If he's across the map split pushing, it's not beneficial to them. Gold Fury is not going to be spawning here for about 1 minute and 15.
Adonis, he's in almost 6 items. 19 minutes.
Yeah, no, Basket is the best solo laner in North America. Like, that's not, I'm not even like telling anyone they can debate me anymore.
If you just want to see a solo versus solo fight, maybe we just have Dimmy up here.
I mean, that's on Soar at this point. They find 3 wins in this set. They're going to be facing up against the world champions, and we will get to see that rematch.
And right now, they look very, very good at the moment, do Soar. But so does Enemy. They've counter-attacked very, very well. Found a Gold Fury here or there. The fights have been skirmishes for the most part. They have seen the kills end up going equal, but it is Soar just slightly on top.
And it seems like the pace is going to be, no, it's not going to be slowing down a little bit. Left-hand side, Metyankey going to be starting up, and this is a bait by Soar. You can see all the members in the jungle, but they're right on top of an enemy ward, so they know what's going on.
And they've got to be careful of Baskin coming around. PandaCat forced a Caledonian bolt. At the same time, there's a portal. Big Baby comes out from Baskin, but he's getting bursted down. The Big Baby's going to die. And now Jigz, well, he actually defends the way to be able to get the tier 1 tower down, but now Enemy, they're going to charge him down. The counter-attack is on, or is it?
Maruader trying to close the distance here. Sprint is not available, I don't think, and it looks like Soar will be able to back out, but I mean, once again, Baskin doesn't seem to be playing with the team. He's on his own page. He's either split pushing when the rest of them at Gold Fury, or right there, loops around the back and just gets decimated. If the call should have been for the rest of Soar to pile in at that point.
They did get the tier 1 tower, so maybe that was the call, but that call is now meant the Gold Fury's under threat again. Hurriwind forced out, and it looks like Enemy, with that counter-attack now, are going to force the Gold Fury and find themselves a bigger win off that little skirmish.
And this is what they do, objective control. Hurriwind in a little bit of trouble. His Sentinel's down. Force time, a monster. The bleed could be good. Good ages, but there comes the blink, Panda.
Oh, but Panda's in trouble. The crush may pop in time. No, it won't. Panda gets out. But now Enemy going to turn this around, looking for the tier 2 tower.
Fire Giant, right-hand side. Soar, they've actually taken that. All 5 members of Enemy are over there, and they're going to be able to sneak this uncontested. Does Maruader have teleport? He does.
This game is crazy right now. They're going to get the Fire Giant here, and I don't think Enemy are going to realize it whatsoever. It's 13-11 in score, and I think Enemy are trying to get over it. Maruader has turned up. Enemy might be able to defend this, and eventually they're pushing them off. Enemy defend the Fire Giant, get a tier 2, and now it's Soar on the run.
Threshold popped as well. Khaos goes through the wall. Metyankey is going to pop Sanctuary here, but PainDeViande under tower. The stun's going to be good here. One more hit. He's dead. And there it is. Credit to Maruader, and Fire Giant was the mistake that might cost Soar this game.
But when you talk about the Fire Giant, let's go back to the tier 1 tower, because when Baskin died, this is where this all swung differently. Enemy, get at the tower, the tier 2, get the Gold Fury as well. And now they're looking at the Fire Giant. It's only Baskin, the one true hope of North American solo laners, here to defend against 5.
If you want him, and it's all on him. Rotation has come in. PandaCat by himself. There's the heal from Soul Eater, and that might have managed to keep him away. Basket can't close the distance. Armored Umbrella should be good, though. Maybe one more hit. He manages to find it.
But he's going to go down in trade, I feel here. He's still trying to juke it out, and actually does a good job of doing so. Jigz picks up Maruader. Baskin being chased by Khaos. The threshold is enough to allow Khaos for the in-hand, but now Varizial on the run as well. So it's a 2-for-2 trade. Solos and Hunters both dead, and the Fire Giant, well, he still stands.
The bloodbath meta. 15-13. We're only 22 minutes into this match. We've seen attempted fire giants. We've seen gold furies. We've seen a big baby get a triple kill under a tower. I mean, this is exactly how these teams fought in the spring split. I mean, every single game was back and forth. There was no clear winner. There was no complete shutout. And honestly, this set might go all 5 games right now. Enemy, though, they've got the momentum. They've been picking up the recent gold furies, but I mean, Soar have been keeping it competitive.
Well, I'm looking at the compositions, and I'm actually looking at the gold and where the items are at the moment. Yes, Baskin is ahead for Soar. Yes, Soar may look good, but just look at the carries of enemy here. You've got PandaCat, who's got the Chinsayers online, also working on Titan's Bane, and that gold lead is around 1,000 over Metyankey, who's not having a great game so far. You've also got Khaos here with his Doom Orb that's fully stacked with the penetration. Meanwhile, across the way, look at his lane opponent. He's down on gold a considerable amount as well.
I mean, Hurriwind just hasn't been able to keep up right now. Finally hitting level 17, was 3 levels behind just a little bit ago. Can't even keep his Doom Orb stacks up. You can see 4 deaths to his name. That's tied for the most in the game with, I believe it's his Hunter. Metyankey and Hurriwind, honestly, I felt like they've had no impact so far.
It's been a rough game for them so far. 15-13, though, there's been plenty of kills and deaths, and nobody has got out unscathed so far. Everybody in this game has died within the first 23 minutes. Both teams now grouping on the right-hand side, but look at Varizial right now on your left. On that Bastet, working towards his Titan's Bane. Jotun's online. Slowly, Catchy Monkey is going to continue pushing down here with the kitty cats.
And doesn't want to get caught by that last archer. You can see him sneak into lane, and Soar have no idea about this. You can see on the right-hand side enemy, they were playing very defensive, and Soar's trying to bait the fire giant right now, but here comes the Phoenix.
His enemy need to engage right now on the right-hand side and just keep them in combat. Not necessarily win the fight, but the back door is happening. The bad news is the minion wave spawned, so the kitty cats turn their attention for us. Like, no, please, kitties, no, hit the Phoenix. Hit the bird, you like birds!
And now PainDeViande on the right-hand side is going to have to back out of this one. Oh, but the engage is on. Homiefe going in, forced to purify, and it looks like Unstable Vortex is going to be off the mark as well. And there's a couple ultimates burned.
Missed opportunity from Soar, though. They could have gone all in there, knowing that Varizial wasn't going to get that Phoenix, and it was a 4v5.
The thing is that Varizial has TP, so it's not guaranteed that he won't be there. There's 2 options for you, and you see this a lot. Sometimes your solo laner will actually ward incredibly deep on the left-hand side near that Phoenix, and you could TP to it, or you could just sneak up the left-hand side like we saw Varizial do, and then TP to the team fight after you find it.
But now you gave the game away to Soar once again. They probably knew this was going to potentially happen from this Bastet anyway, but watch the wards come out. I expect wards very quickly coming out from the team of Soar, and already, immediately Homiefe go to the left-hand side and drops a sentry by that Phoenix.
In the lane, too. Varizial here, so he kind of made a little bit of a misplay with that. He should have known the timings. I mean, he is a player who has done this strategy before. He actually walks behind the wave instead of being next to the Phoenix and then letting the wave pass. And you saw that distance, right? He only saw it at the in between the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower. If he waits a little bit longer or goes in it at a different time, that's a free Phoenix.
The biggest issue he had there was he actually tried to rotate into lane too early. If he went through the jungle a little bit longer, he could have waited for that next wave to spawn and then let that go past, then go in. Instead, he rushed it. The cats went down. Obviously, they didn't manage to help him get the Phoenix. No backdoor available that time round.
Gold Fury spawned up. Metyankey trying to sneak it away here. They do have vision. And actually, Varizial's the only one here, but enemy, they're going to be forcing the Fire Giant in return.
But Hurriwind obviously watching from the sidelines there, and that little cute girl Scylla, and that lovely costume just waiting patiently in case they want to go for it. Against the Scylla, you don't want to try and contest, because I'm a monster does devastating damage.
I mean, you're guaranteed into a small area with not too many escapes, and here, Jigz going to find one, and it's going to be Met. Oh, a lot of trouble.
Combo, but he does get out of danger, does have teleport available, but still, enemy is still alive for now, and they've done a good job of getting him out of that. Not too much was invested, though, just Homiefe, ult, and Jigz, so it's not all doom and gloom just yet. It was a 2-for-2 in ult trade.
I think Met was trying to hit him there with enough damage, but just couldn't confirm it, and that's one of the things is that your hunters with this soul leader, obviously they have a lot more survivability, but they don't have as much damage.
Gold Fury started up here by enemy by the looks of it. PandaCat gonna pull this one, got Varizial with him too, and with the kitty cats, it should come down relatively quickly. So, may have recognized this just yet. Homiefe is the first one to turn up, and with Metyankey in tow, he's got some snipes himself, but look at where Varizial's going. Round the back on the Bastet as the blink in from Homiefe goes. He's looking for PandaCat, forcing him away. Back onto Suku he comes, but now he's gonna get juked back into the jungle. Panda's running away, Baskin's gonna find him, but meanwhile down on the left-hand side, well, Homie's gonna die in trade.
Jigz trying to find a pluck onto someone else. You can see the rotations coming in. PainDeViande, Maruader looking for Hurriwind. He's been left all alone. They can't close the distance. One more hit on the tower assault. Sprint is popped. PainDeViande dashes forward.
Sanctuary.
Good sanctuary. Here's Basket as well, but not in time.
Not in time at all. Now Pain isolated and alone, wait for Maruader and support, but the slows from Metyankey are good enough. And now Baskin can turn again onto enemy. And enemy's biggest weakness is when they start dying, they try to support each other too much, and they fall down too. Watch this as Marauder's now going to fall, trying to get to one of these portals.
What is Varizial doing? I think he's trying to split push. He's waiting for the wave right now, but Marauder's giving up the game.
Marauder teleported, but Varizial, did he get spotted? That's the question. No. He's still there, but he doesn't know there is a ward in this lane. Homiefe has planted it right in the lane.
He's still going to get the
no teleport from Baskin as the goal fury has begun for Soar.
This should be free.
Looks like
just drops cats. What's he waiting for?
Respawns in 6 seconds, 5 seconds on Homiefe. Homiefe could come back and defend this one.
It's done.
I don't know if he can do it in time. Are you sure? Homiefe's here. It's going to go down, but Homiefe can start running from as the Gold Fury goes down for Soar.
And now Khaos, no ultimate, so Soar will pick up the Gold Fury here. Varizial, he's probably going to die. You can see the collapse coming from Soar.
Well, look what Varizial's doing. He's buying time because the team are doing Fire Giant. Enemy have gone to the Fire Giant right now. No teleport for Baskin to get over here.
Jigz is
3 members were here. Jigz on the way. So is Hurriwind as well. And it's going to take a lot with these 3 characters to bring it down. Jigz has arrived. Hurriwind is arriving. And immediately enemy, well, they've got to think about this.
Okay, enemy going to drop this here. They don't want to fight right now into Soar here. Varizial's dead. It would have been a 5-on-4, but Soar want to force it. This Fire Giant dance has been back and forth for 10 minutes now.
The whole game's been back and forth. Pain dashing in here. I'm a monster's been popped. He's looking for the secure of this from Hurriwind. Doesn't get it though. Fire Giant to enemy. It's stolen away.
Khaos finds 3. Also looking to follow it up. Basket isolated by himself right hand side.
Triple kill.
Khaos coming out. Looking for Homiefe. 1v1. Unstable Vortex is good, but Khaos has to bail. Can't take on the assassin, but a triple and a stolen Fire Giant for enemy. They've got the lead.
That's the most dangerous mid laner in North America right now. Khaos, the most player damage, just picks up a triple kill. They're hunting for Homiefe. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the quadra kill. It's a delayed one, but he'll take it anyway. An enemy now with the Fire Giant and 4 members still on the map up front are pushing 2 different lanes, looking for 2 different tier 2 towers.
I don't think they know that the tier 1 is down on the right hand side. They recognize it now here. Speed buff going to be stolen away. Enemies grouping up. They're going to start to take these towers here. They could look for the Phoenix as well. 9 seconds on Hurriwind, but he doesn't have ultimate, and it looks like they're going to go for the Phoenix. They want to have 2 lanes of pressure with fire minions.
2 lanes of pressure indeed, and now the Phoenix is being pushed down as well. They're going to fire this one here unless Soar can defend. Well, it looks like they're trying to at least. Not in time, unfortunately, and now with that enemy, they can swing all the way back to the right side, pick up the tier 1 on their exit strategy, go back to base, buy up, pick up their buffs, and start again.
Oh, I almost thought they wanted to fight here. And they're just going to take a trip here through this tier 2. Going to pick up the tier 1.
Varizial, that tower can't be targeted until the tier 1 goes down, buddy.
They did it before, too. I don't know if you noticed there, but after they got the triple kill...
Backdoor's ridiculous, but that sort of backdoor is a bit too much.
What if there was an item that could do that?
No, don't even think about that. There's hi-rez staff in the crowd who work in design.
Scott's here, let's do it. Right-hand side, though, final tower going to be taken down. You can see Soar, they're spread across the map right now, just trying to get all the farm they can. I mean, we're 30 minutes in, and Hurriwind still hasn't hit level 20. Neither has Metyankey or Homiefe. All 3 carries for Soar are behind.
Jigz is going to try and peel and tail whip away and push Maruader into an awkward position. Maruader knocked up, but gets away from the danger. Meanwhile, Varizial gets poked a little bit, but with the Guan Yu heals, they'll keep going. Baskin forced to go in and aggressive, and now the big baby's down. They're actually shredding that big baby back to base one more time. Through space and time, connects Khaos, picks up Homiefe on the back of that. As Marauder zoning the team away, they'll get the 3rd and final Phoenix. Enemy, they're looking to end here. It looks like they may be able to. They're charging all the way in. They've no real fire minions with them though, and the fight's still going.
And look at this, the target is on. Titan, it's at 4,000 health. The fight's raging. Jigz gonna do everything he can to peel. Basket trying to knock people up, but he's rooted from the trap. And enemy, they take game 1 over Soar.
What an insane game from these 2 teams. This is going to go 5. This is going 5. I can see it already.
It will be a disappointment if there's 3 games that are incredibly close and enemy come out on top. I mean, these are 2 teams that deserve to be here. That was so close.
Really
Look at that. Enemy, this is only game 1. You normally don't see enemy hyped like that until they win a set.
The most important thing here, though, enemy do win and they're all ecstatic. Soar, they can't get in their own heads here. It was game 1. It was hard fought. They need to grow in fresh for game 2. Otherwise, they're going to suffer from the morale that's going to be dropped because of that loss.
And look at that. Oh, look at Khaos. I mean, he wanted the penta. Right now he's saying how bad he wanted the penta. He got a triple kill, and honestly, he's the man of the match if I'm looking at enemy. I mean, just incredible.
Go back at the beginning of the game, and it was all Baskin to begin with. Soar got off to a great start, and it was all feeding Baskin, getting him bigger, getting him stronger, and he even picked up multiple kills because of it. And here is the start of what went on.
I mean, this was just a really well-executed gank. The knockup comes through, pulled out of place, forced the ult, but he's on the edge of the tower, and then the feather step early game does so much damage. Really good job by Maruader there. You can see he overhead kicks, immunes the damage, but Baskin just dives him non-stop. And there's nothing Maruader could do. He's just wasting time.
This is Baskin playing amazingly well. He goes into big baby form. Dropping aggro, though, he could have actually stopped that from Jigz. But the turnaround from enemy, you also saw during this engagement, too. They did pick up a kill in response, which showed how close he was, but Baskin was just so big so early. And I was so worried that they wouldn't be able to bring him down.
I think it was like 5-0-2 near the 12 or 13 minute mark. The problem that I noticed, though, was that they weren't really playing through him. That's what Soar does when they win games, is Baskin gets ahead, whether because of the pressure they put out or simply because he outplays the other soul laner and team. And then he rotates in, is a massive monster in the engagements. But I mean, the Gold Fury fight, right? The first Gold Fury, Baskin split pushing.
And when you look at Baskin as well, I said, where's the damage going to come from? Well, it had to come from Khaos, and it had to come from PandaCat. Both of those two, 25,000.3 for PandaCat and 21.2 for Khaos. They both played so well. They needed to make sure they could come back into that.
I'm looking at Hurriwind. He did not have a good game. 10.7K damage, and we never really felt he was a factor. We're watching the game, and he was just behind.
That's Bastet and Guan up against the Scylla.
No, it's hard for him to get.
Sentinels away, you get bled, you're going to get chased down still. There's no way for him to really escape.
I mean, it was a really good comp drafted by enemy, and the Guan, you did exactly what we thought there. Khaos on your screen, 10-3-7 as Janus.
He's happy. He's happy. He could have got a couple of kills in that game too. I believe it was a triple. A delayed quadra, I want to say, because the fight did continue. He could have picked up the quadra, but he actually held off and did a good job against Homiefe. He was going after him and came back and swung up.
I like how he didn't get in his head, though, right? There's some players that are like, I'm going to outplay you here 1v1. Instead, he gets hit once with a feather step, recognizes this is a fight that it's a little bit risky to take. He portals to the rest of his team, and then they all collapse and finish him off there at the end.
And here's that play through space and time.
He's Hurriwind in the back,
he was looking for the ult as well. The 1,000 damage hit Hurriwind, and then he cleans him up. Double kill.
Jigz
Oh, he got a triple on the single shot. I didn't realize it was three.
That's got to be an achievement here. And then you can see Homiefe versus him trying to outplay. The feather step's good, and he's worried about the cooldown on feather step as well as the couple autos. Portals through, and he chases this one down.
And this is just a team working as a unit. They know they've isolated Homie. Khaos can cut off the option around the backside here. And that's what he does. He'll swing around, realize his team are going for it, and he's like, okay, I'll put her on the back, and waits for the jump, finds the unstable, right in his face.
Just well executed by him, and honestly, the whole of enemy here. Now, they're going to be heading into game 2. The Bastet was interesting because it was a really good counter to Scylla, but we didn't see too much of the split push. I think that's like an extra thing that enemy likes, and they could look to go back to it.
They waited for the split push, and actually that split push did come into play a little bit, I want to say, because Varizial keeping them busy. He did find the Phoenix, which was very important. At the same time as enemy didn't get, Soar didn't get hold of the fire giant as I went on.